Hi, this is Supermoon Tarot, and in today's video we are going to be answering the question, why are you so drawn or connected to this person, and is it mutual? This is mostly supposed to be a romantic reading or a love reading. However, I do like to keep these videos fairly open-ended because you never know. Maybe you were drawn to this video and your particular situation is with just a strong friendship. Maybe it's with a coworker sort of situation. So those things will still be included nonetheless, and I just wanted to let you know that. Either way, the goal of this video is always to either, ease tension, help you better understand the situation, or just like in general get excited to know that they feel the same way that you do back. Either way, as you can see, we have 4 cards ahead, groups of cards in front of us, swirling, hypnotizing you, drawing you closer. Pick whatever pile resonates with you most. I'm going to give you a moment to do so. And after you have picked the pile, down in the description is the timestamp with the pile next to it in relationship to it, so you can skip ahead to that group. But let's get started with group number 1. Group number 1, let's find out, why are you so drawn or connected to them? And is it mutual? Your tarot cards are the Tower upright, Page of Wands upright, the Moon card in reverse, 10 of Wands in reverse, and your last card is the Hermit upright. Okay, give me just one moment to look at this. I have some questions about this Moon card. Let me just pull another card or two and see what's going on here. We have the Emperor in reverse. That is not helpful. And we have the 6 of Swords in reverse. Yeah, this just kind of, this is a really tough one to read. Well, what I tend to do when I am really struggling to come to that definitive answer is I just share everything that I see. Because the reason why I might be feeling drawn or pulled apart is it could be 2 things at the same time. And plus, this is a general reading, so I'm picking up to everybody's like feelings at the same time. And some of this might be valid for some of you guys and some of it's not. But it's mostly this Moon section that I'm a little confused in, and we'll go over that. So, I can tell you right off the bat, especially with the Moon card in reverse, yes, this is mutual. In fact, I'm getting kind of a sort of distant vibe, especially with the Tower card and the Hermit card, like you guys haven't gotten together yet. So you've been kind of admiring them from afar, but guess what? They too have been admiring you from afar. The Moon card in reverse is definitely like our secret admirer, sort of like from a distance kind of romantic relationship, which is awesome. So I am picking up romance, and I am picking up that it is mutual, but you guys haven't kind of gotten together yet. Now, the biggest thing I see popping up with you is you've been single, and I can tell in the Tower card you've kind of had something happen in your life that shook things up. Now, the Tower card in many interpretations is considered a negative card, but the Tower card just simply means that something drastic happened to you enough to change up your life and mix up your daily routine in a dramatic way. So sometimes you suddenly got a job and you've moved to a whole new location, and it's a very positive thing. It's not always a negative thing, but either way, it is a dramatic, life-changing event you've kind of been through. And when I see the Hermit card, you've been taking care of yourself, but you're ready. You're ready to get back out there and get to know people. And this person's kind of caught your eye. You kind of can't explain why, especially with the Moon card. It's a sort of unexplainable magnetic quality. You know what I mean? Now, I'm not seeing any cards here to just full on say like, oh yes, this is your soulmate. This is a past life situation. That's why you're drawn to them. No. This feels more, and I'm not saying that can't be the case. This almost feels like by connecting to them, you're receiving some form of a confirmation from the pain you've experienced. So this is where the reading gets a little, like, I'm not quite sure which way it goes. So over here we have the Ten of Wands heading towards the Moon card. You can see the Moon card is like this person who's interested in you and you're interested in them. And as you're feeling drawn to them, you just feel like you can't explain it. Things seem to get better with the idea of them. Tension in your life seems to be rolling away. This is during kind of a sort of, how do I explain this? You've figured out what you want in life because you've been through some bad experiences and you've had some time to reflect. You're now holding people accountable. And as you're moving forward, you feel like you can hold this other person accountable. You can be this new person who is developed these belief systems and manifesto, you could say, in life and dating. And you feel that this other person can potentially live up to that, which is like a wonderful connection to have. This is a lot of, especially with the Moon card, I will point out that most of what I am saying is a subconscious feeling. It's not something you're thinking right away at the surface, but it's like a feeling you get. You might just summarize it as you feel less stressed at the thought of being with them. But that is what's like making you feel less stressed. Page of Wands talks about not only your energy being drawn to them, and for sure we're getting, you know, that spicy romantic sort of feeling. You definitely think they're for sure cute. But the Page of Wands talks about standing up and committing to something. It's this like act. Commitment, like a lot of the time people want to know, will this person commit? You know what I mean? But sometimes the act of committing is a feeling of growth or a lesson to be learned, because some people might have been in a situation prior where it really scared them or it made them so unhappy that the idea of really giving that sort of dedication to anybody else it kind of, they didn't want to do it anymore. And this is a big step for you to feel like, yeah, I want to take a chance on them. I want to be open with them. I want to give them all of my, you know, secrets and love and all that good stuff going on. So this is a huge feeling of growth, and by being connected to them, you're getting a lot of self-discovery and self-growth, and kind of almost that final confirmation of when you went through the tough time and you spent some time alone and you were healing yourself, it's all coming together beautifully. Now this is where I just can't tell which way it's going, so I'll share both. So the Moon card in reverse is about when we talk about, the Moon card in general is like your sort of behind the scenes mystical kind of vibe. It's like what's not being said, reading in between the lines. But when it's in reverse, it's like you finally can read between the lines. You can look behind, you know, the mystical curtain, so to speak. If anyone watches Twin Peaks, you'll know what I'm talking about. And actually get to see what's going on in people's intentions and stuff like that. So I still wasn't sure of like, well, why though are you into them? Why is this person enabling you to have this sort of connection of self-discovery with yourself in this way compared to other people? So the Emperor card in reverse talks about a feeling of not being able to take accountability, not being able to be responsible, opposing idea to what's going on here in the Page of Wands. Somebody who finds at this time in their life that like harder decisions like that are just way too overwhelming to take on. And the Six of Swords almost implies that things are getting rough and have been rough. So this is where it gets confusing. In the Moon card, I can't tell if it's being said that when you're connecting to this person, it's because you feel like they represent all the things that you once went through, and now you're kind of coming full circle and overcoming the person you once were, who was struggling with, you know, responsibility, who went through a rough time, and they somehow reflect, maybe they've had a similar experience and you guys can share that and understand one another. Or, and this is a little difficult to say, sometimes we have one last lesson to learn, and we're drawn to this person because they are kind of a reflection of everything we went through, and they're going through, and they are the person you once were, and by facing them and being drawn to them, you're kind of completing one last final thing to set your beliefs into stone, if that makes sense. So you see what I'm saying? It's like you don't even know it yet. You're being pulled to them, and you'll have a certain sense of understanding. But when I say they're going through a rough time and they're struggling with responsibility, that doesn't necessarily mean in the longevity of getting to know them, they can't overcome that and you guys can't become really close. But it is a little, difficult to hear that the person you're into might not feel or be their best at this moment. And you kind of don't want to deal with that again because you've already been through that. So like I said, I'm not quite sure which way it's going, but that is what I'm seeing. So yes, the connection is mutual. You're so drawn to them because they are a huge, important, either way, life lesson thing that you're overcoming, and you're all that hard work you've done this is the end point. This is the end point where it all feels like you're putting into action what you figured out. That's what I wanted to say. Couldn't put the words together. So if you enjoyed this reading as much as I did, please consider giving it a like, comment, and subscribing. It helps out like you would not believe. But either way, have a wonderful day. I look forward to seeing you in the next one. And let's get ready for group number 2. Skidoo! Group number 2! Let's find out why you are so drawn or connected to this person. And is it mutual? Let's look at your cards. We have the 7 of Pentacles in reverse. Oh, the Lover's card upright. The Chariot in reverse. 4 of Pentacles in reverse. And our last card is the 2 of Pentacles. Let me just look at this. Okay, so I can tell you off the bat, yes, it is mutual. Very good things in the Lover's card going upright here. It's actually kind of interesting that it's upright and then we have these surrounding cards. I'm definitely getting a feeling that things have been a little rough right now. It almost feels like you guys have been dating for a while, maybe it's not been the most consistent, and you'd like to keep going with them, but you're not quite sure, should you give up or not, kind of thing. Either way, it looks like it's positive in the end, but there's a bit of reasoning. I think and that's the reason why you clicked on this video, but why you are so drawn to them says a lot about what can help fix this situation and kind of lead it back more towards the positive outcome of you guys being together. So over here in the 2 of Pentacles, this is like one of our biggest clues, so to speak. The 2 of Pentacles upright is somebody is very busy. I can tell you are doing it. You're doing it successfully, but you're pretty busy. You're drawn. Multiple people are asking a lot of you. You're having to multitask a lot. This is between work. This is between your home. This is between maybe your family. You're being pulled many different directions. And it's kind of a feeling of like you never can really let go or let loose because there's so much on your plate and responsibility. How can you be asked to even take a moment off of one of your pentacles? But over here, we have the 4 of Pentacles in reverse. This is somebody who's just kind of like, whatever. They're letting loose, but it's a bit of an aggressive letting loose compared to the free-spirited nature of the Fool. The Fool is somebody who is totally in the mindset of they haven't experienced anything that would make them feel otherwise. It's very carefree and sweet. There's no past connotation that's making them have to force their free-spiritedness. This is still positive, it's basically you wanting to just relax and let go and not care about it, but it's a kind of like, screw this, let's just make it work. I just want to not care for a moment. I just want to let go for a moment, please. It's sort of a begging feeling with the universe. And this is totally achievable. I'm not saying this is not, but oh, so sorry about that. It's a strong feeling, and essentially. But I can tell right here with the interactions between the cards, this just hasn't happened for you yet. It's a strong desire, but you're still just, you're worried about what will happen next in the future. Your eyes kind of always focus on the responsibility and the outcomes of things rather than really turning inwards and saying, what do I need? How can I fulfill that need? So then we have your person over here, and we have a bit of a reaction of what's going on right now. And this is saying a lot with this in mind. So I can see over here, the Chariot is things aren't going great. It doesn't mean that the answer is no, it's not going to turn out great. It's that you're approaching the situation in not the right way. You're not headed in the right direction, so to speak. And this is kind of like forcing something when you really shouldn't. Again, doesn't mean you shouldn't try at all. It just means the way you're approaching the situation it's just not working right now. This is a card that has a lot of like intensity behind it, no matter which situation it is. And I can tell by your life with how you approach it and what you desperately need for yourself to feel a little more balanced within yourself. You approach most things with this wonderful sense of intensity and being like, please, let's just make this work. Let's make this work. But you're being told you need to slow down a little bit. You're not even slowing down for yourself. This kind of idea gets repeated over here in the Seven of Pentacles in reverse. This is about somebody who's been trying and actively working hard on your end to them for a while, and you're just not, you're not getting back what you were hoping to get back from it. Now this is interesting. This is different from other cards that talk about more an equal exchange. This is not about equivalence. This is usually hoping for even more back than what you put in, which is not a bad thing. It might suggest from both these cards you should kind of lower your expectations, not because they can't fulfill those expectations, but you're unfortunately stressing yourself out. Often when people are kind of so busy and looking to the future, we don't realize we're doing this to ourselves, but the more we think of the future, we start to think a little too far in the future, and we repeat ideas over and over and over again, and we start to either make things feel more intense than they need to be, put too much weight into them. We just stress ourselves out with expectations and a lot of displaced feeling. You know what I mean? How can you feel relaxed if you are never in the moment to actually enjoy that relaxation? Because you're always thinking of the future. You know what I mean? So essentially, we have a lot of, basically the cards are like, you're going to need to slow down. You're going to need to take a different approach to this. You're going to need to connect to that part of yourself that's a little more carefree. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you, especially with these two cards. That's one of the biggest reasons you're drawn to them. You'd like to be carefree. You can't help but feel drawn to them because they have that. But the more they're carefree and maybe not responding in the way you would like them to respond, the more you feel your natural sense of like desire to control comes out. It doesn't mean you're a controlling person, not at all. Sometimes we don't even mean to do this. Sometimes we don't even know that we'd be happier if we did let go, because it is often very hard to let go. It is a completely understandable feeling to be unable to, is what I'm trying to, like, you feel frightened, you feel scared, you're like, oh, what, it's just gonna all work out? Yeah, it's gonna be great. Try to be a little more in the moment. Just take a little bit of a seat back. You're drawn to them because you're subconsciously putting yourself in a position to kind of, I'm very happy you didn't get a Four of Swords in reverse card, to put it plainly. That card pops up when the universe forces us to take a break. It's like getting sick at the worst time possible. You're pushing yourself and subconsciously pushing yourself to get to the point where you say, I can't take this anymore, screw it, I'm just not going to care anymore. I'm just going to relax, I'm just going to let things be what they are. You're on purpose putting yourself in that position. And you feel like they bring that out of you. They push you to that edge because you subconsciously want to get there. But you won't allow yourself to have it normally because you're focused too much in the future. So you're pushing yourself. You're attracted to someone. But guess what? They are very fun. They want to relax just as much as you. They're totally into you back. So don't put yourself through unnecessary grief. Let go. Enjoy it. Let it be what it needs to be. And I'm very excited for you too, because the Lover's card is basically a sign of coupling. If you're not now, or if you're worried about the inconsistency, it will smooth itself out. So I'm very excited for you. I hope you enjoyed this reading as much as I enjoyed giving it. Please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. It helps out like you would not believe. Either way, have a wonderful day. I look forward to seeing you in the next one. And let's get ready for group number 3. Group number 3, let's find out why you are so drawn or connected to them and isn't mutual. Let's look at the cards. We have the World card in reverse, 7 of Wands in reverse, 5 of Swords in reverse, Ace of Wands upright, and your last card is King of Pentacles in reverse. So just give me one moment to look at this. I think I'm going to need to pull just one more card to confirm something. 3 of Pentacles upright. Okay. Okay. So I am currently connecting to somebody who has been in a relationship with somebody else for a while. Like, you guys have a past and a reason to want to keep the relationship going, but things are currently, I can see right here, are not going great at the moment. And they haven't been going great for, unfortunately, a little while. But somehow, you know, you just kind of can't help but be drawn back to them. I can tell here you would like to, the confrontation is just not your thing. You would like to pull away. You're kind of wondering, should you give up on this connection? But yet, you just kind of can't help but want to go back to them, or wonder why, if this is worth saving is the best way I can put it. Now, I can tell you in the Ace of Wands upright, you two are for sure attracted to each other. You have been then, you are now, which is great. That is not a problem in the relationship. The passion is there. But some of the passion, there's an attractive quality of like physically being attracted to each other, but the actual passion for the relationship is kind of being pulled away a little bit by other problems. Now, the biggest thing I'm seeing repeated here, and here, so nearly in every card interaction, the idea of security. You know, do you feel secure in your relationship? Why don't you feel secure in your relationship? What is it that you need to feel like everything is being satiated enough? You know, you feel like you have everything that will make you feel secure, feel safe, that this is a stable relationship, something you can depend on. Well, I can see over here in the King of Pentacles in reverse, we have a kind of a dual mentality for both his end or her end and your end. And with the King of Pentacles over here, this talks about the idea of being deprived, not getting what you need enough. So you're having it restricted, pulled away from you. Sometimes this takes on a mentality of feeling like you were owed something, that you don't deserve this type of thing, rather than just purely having a lacking mindset. But for the other person involved in this party, they have a responsibility to share. They're not doing it. They're being even a little greedy and holding things back. Sometimes this is used as a form of punishment in a relationship, but often with the King of Pentacles in reverse, this is somebody who's making these decisions based on fear. They feel like, you know, they want to hold on to anything, and that says a lot more about them than them not being into you or not wanting to give you affection or the things you need. The King of Pentacles can talk about money and money being restricted, so I just want to throw that out there. But either way, we're doing a general reading. So over here, we'll talk about the problems arising. The World card in reverse definitely talks about this lack of moving forward, this stagnation in the relationship. Now, with the World card upright, this talks about expansion, experiencing new things. Sometimes in relationship situations, you're dating multiple people, or you're dating people outside of your normal type and stuff like that. But in reverse, this is talking about like a cyclical or a cycle of problems that just keep kind of, they haven't resolved themselves. It's been an issue. And this would be the type of smaller stuff that have gained more weight and importance to you as time has gone on, because it hasn't changed for so long. You guys are kind of trapped in a bubble. And let's say, I'm just picking something small. Let's say it's really annoying that they don't shut the cabinet doors on like a kitchen your kitchen cabinets, and you've told them every day. And every day you tell them, over time, it feels incredibly disrespectful that they just can't seem to learn this. And this really small, insignificant problem seems like a much bigger deal in the relationship because you're trapped in this bubble. It's like you're tired of the problems themselves and even having to say it out loud or deal with it at all. That idea gets reflected over here in the Seven of Wands, and it's directly being drawn to the World card. But the thing that's so interesting about the Seven of Wands is, on one interpretation, if we viewed it as like it happens to be in reverse, but it's in reverse to face this is showing you being like, listen, I feel that I'm still within right of what I'm saying. Like, I should be able to say it's okay that I don't like this, that, and this. So it's sticking up for yourself. It's standing by your convictions. But in reverse, it's like the idea of you're tired of doing it. You kind of would like to avoid conflict. This could be due to a shyness factor. This could be due to just exhaustion levels, being at the brim. You're tired of it. But it's this feeling of like, I'm kind of done. I just don't know if I want to deal with the conflict itself anymore. It doesn't mean you've given up. It's just you've given up because you're so tired of things not changing. Now, I have a lot of positive things to say, which is really great. It's not always the case, but I'm always delighted when I have happy news to share. So the Five of Swords in reverse is great. It's the making amends type of card, which just essentially means you guys, things are changing. We're going to have an opportunity to get to know each other, especially with the Ace of Wands interacting right here. This is like dating again and remembering why you two were initially so drawn to each other. This is like getting to know each other once again, but this is making amends on a deep level. So it's like, let's say you start dating again. We're starting fresh. We're both having a discussion that we're gonna go with this with that sort of energy and effort. But as you're dating and having fun again, there is a little bit of those conversations to say, listen, I didn't like when this isn't what was happening in the relationship, and I'm not asking to bring this up. I'm not trying to start any fights, but I just need to understand, why couldn't you do it? Can I understand you better? How can we restart again and almost take hints and clues and inklings of the past without letting our relationship anymore be defined by the past? With the Three of Pentacles, we have a really positive omen, but also a bit of advice that will really help you guys as a couple, especially with the World card being here. So the Three of Pentacles and the Ace of Wands, I wanted to make absolutely sure I could say, yes, this relationship is mutual. They are still into you. They still want to make the effort. Things are for sure disheveled, but there's something good here. You guys do work well together, and they are interested in continuing that, and they are still very drawn to you. But for the things we said, they don't want to keep feeling like the past is breaking up, but they do agree themselves they want things fixed, but the biggest thing is they want to reunite with what really made your relationship special as a whole together. So here's where a little bit of the advice comes in to get you guys into this mindset. So with the Three of Pentacles, this talks about the idea of working on something together. So this can be anything. You can have a real fun time choosing this together. Maybe you guys pick up, I would maybe advise staying away from any sort of renovating the house together. For whatever reason, that just brings out the worst in most people. Pick a fun hobby that doesn't, have any weight to it. Maybe you both are into gardening, or you both learn a skill and you're reading books and you're sharing your knowledge with one another. Either way, it is something that is new to both of you, and you can feel like you're building it together, but it doesn't have any sort of weight and doesn't bring up any old habits that weren't fun. It's just during that time process, it's like a little restarting new, and they can enjoy the way you approach it. You can enjoy the way you approach it. It's like falling in love again by having this third, instead of objective party like a person, it's like this third objective activity that is outside of the relationship and pulls out the best qualities of both of you. Definitely consider, especially with the World card being here, something that you're both good at, something that wouldn't be like, let's say your partner, it just doesn't like to draw and they're not good at drawing. Maybe don't pick an art related project. Pick something that you both can agree upon and bend and, try, you're willing to compromise on to a certain degree. The World card in reverse also talks about a couple needing like some sort of a win together. It's like things have been tough for you, but if you could feel like you went on a really good date together, or you started this new activity, or this almost like intangible trophy that feels like, yeah, we did that together. We did something that made us feel closer, a sense of pulling us out of the stagnation. It would be really positive to move you guys forward more. But the main reason why I'm feeling like you are so drawn and connected to them is that you do work well together. You can't help it. There is a very high level of passion and attraction and always potential for it. At any given moment, your flame does not ever seem to go out. I will just put it blanketly. There's just that sort of magnetism between the two of you. But you guys have the potential to work together, to stimulate each other's minds and souls. And that sort of stuff is very valuable. I almost said invaluable. Incorrect vocabulary. Is valuable and is rare. And no matter how much it feels the opposite right now, that potential is never going away and has never left. So it's what you need to reconnect with, because they are still very much into you, and there's a lot of positive potential here. So go have fun. Remember the closeness you guys share naturally, and enjoy that, and then pull up the best benefits of one another in the relationship as a whole. So yeah, if you enjoyed this reading as much as I enjoyed giving it, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. It helps the channel out like you would not believe. Either way, have a beautiful day. I look forward to seeing you in the next one. And let's get ready for group number 4. Group number 4 with the beautiful noir-esque lighting. Let's find out why you are so drawn or connected to them. And is it mutual? Let's look at the cards. We have 6 of Cups upright. Page of Cups in reverse. 5 of Wands upright. Oh, the Devil card. Well, that makes perfect sense. Okay, the Devil card in reverse. And your last card is the Sun card. The Sun card right next to the Devil card in reverse. I love that. I can't think of a time I've ever actually gotten these cards right next to each other. That's awesome. That's so beautiful. Okay, so this is awesome. Let me look at this, though, real quickly. I'm feeling like I'm going to need to pull one more card for some clarification. 8 of Pentacles in reverse. Okay. So, I can tell you right off the bat, one of the reasons why you are so drawn to this person and feel connected to them is I am picking up a past life connection. Now, past life connections are really interesting. Believe it or not, sometimes they don't mean anything. We just keep running into each other. Maybe we're like long distant friends and we're just like, hey, nice to see you. Bye. I'll see you in the next lifetime. But a lot of the times they have significant meanings. Sometimes it's because it's really serious. It's like a really positive romantic thing. You keep experiencing them lifetime after lifetime. This also includes deep friendships and stuff like that. But other times, it is because they represent a lesson you still have not learned. And they just keep popping up every lifetime. Because how you handle them and deal with it is you finally learning the lesson you were meant to learn. So, let's talk about them and everything that kind of happens in this, because I am getting some future predictions going on here. 6 of Cups. 6 of Cups can be 2 different things. They're both relevant, but we're doing a general reading, so we have to include everybody. This can refer to an ex. This is somebody from your past, and you're kind of still thinking about them, you're connecting to them, you know what I mean? But it also can be a friend from the past that you haven't explored romantic feelings with yet, but you're thinking about it. You'd like to act upon them, and they're still sort of special to you. You can't help it. So again, we're still talking about the past. There's still something you haven't overcome in order to move forward. That's important to remember. So over here in the Page of Cups in reverse, this is about jealousy. This often is about minor, smaller fights, like nitpicking, that can lead to the 5 of Wands, which is a bigger fight, and often a confrontation of being like, you're bringing to someone, listen, I found out about this, let's talk about this. So for whatever reason, they really bring this out of you. They bring out this, I don't want to say volatile, because I think that sounds very harsh. They just get they have a way of getting underneath your skin, is the best way to put it. They just make you feel feelings you wouldn't normally feel. And you can't help it. You care if you felt there was some jealousy and you weren't trusting them. You care about these small things. You really care about them. You are drawn to them. You can't help it. Now, I have a bit of information to share your way, and I ask you to be open-minded because it might not be what you anticipate. So, Eight of Pentacles shows us, yes, they do like you back, but unfortunately, it might not be the way that you were hoping they would like you back. So, it shows that you kind of, also for them, it's a mutual thing when we talk about a past life situation in your particular case. They battle with a certain sense of, and we can see it here, perfectionism of what they demand from people. And you're just not that way. And they pull it out of you. They start to make you feel like you're going nuts. And you just don't really love the way you are necessarily with when you're with them. Which is why we talked about it being an ex and it being a past circumstance, that you remember the good times, you're drawn to them, but you did not forget the things they brought out of you. So they are into you, but you kind of represent to them something they need to overcome. So unfortunately, and I hope this is more, makes you feel good and it enables you to kind of maybe detach from them a little bit, that you to them is not the love of their life. You're not their soulmate. They're really drawn to you because you respond in a way they're hoping for, but they're not trying to antagonize you to be mean. By antagonizing you, they're able to look at their own imperfections, which is being too obsessed with being perfect and having things be a particular way, very, this is my way or the highway sort of mentality. And by you responding and saying, I don't like that, or what's the deal with this, and holding them accountable, you force them to look at that. So it's like you're weirdly balancing and testing each other. Five of Wands is about that too. Testing ideas, testing concepts, debating it, working it out. And these confrontations you're experiencing, while uncomfortable, are helping both of you grow, are helping you overcome this repeating cycle of meeting one another and trying to work this out. You're both trying to learn something. So there's something really beautiful in your experience and being drawn to each other in that way. But I have a bit of a future thing going on here, which is so awesome, and a bit of an epiphany, just something to keep in mind. Maybe it won't mean something to you now, but hopefully it will in time. The Devil card in reverse talks about whenever we're drawn to someone, whenever we feel sucked in or even potentially imprisoned or encaged by them, that is only the case not due to what they did to us, but how much energy we chose to put into them. Think about your energy like a bunch of coins, a bunch of pentacles, and there's a scale or two different bowls is the best way to put it. And every time you engage with them and you let them know you don't like something, you're showing them, I care about your response, or I want you to change this aggression that they bring out of you. You put one coin in. And before you know it, how could you possibly walk away from them? They have all your money. They have all your energy. They have all your investment. This is a subconscious thing, keep in mind. You're not thinking, well, I've been with them this long, or we've been through this thing together. Of course I wouldn't leave. You're not aware. You feel like you would like to, like you would like an answer, but your answer is your own energy being put into someone else is a choice. And the more you put in, the greater that connection feels, the intensity feels. And you don't have to go through that. That's the beauty of it. And I know this is maybe not the answer you're hoping for, but the thing is, when we're drawn to someone, we kind of almost put ourselves sometimes through the ringer because we can't do it ourselves. We can't say, we have to kind of push ourselves to the brink before we finally say, I've had enough. And some of us have pretty high in pain tolerance, so to speak, especially when it comes to emotions. So this shows this sort of epiphany happening. You realizing like, oh, I'm in control. Oh, I don't have to do this. I can be aware of when someone is pulling a reaction out of me and that I don't want to engage. I don't want to experience that. And I can change it to work to my benefit. Because when someone's pulling an emotional reaction out of me in that way, I'm going to be able to understand when it's fruitful and when it's just someone trying to suck the energy out of me. and that's beautiful. He's trying to work out his own thing, but you know what? He can do that in his own time. It's maybe he's already learned it, so to speak. But for you, let's take care of you and make you happy. So in the Devil card, it shows there is a severance. There's like an epiphany and a realization and breaking away from the things that hurt you. This person that brought these things out of you. And then we have the Sun card. The Sun card. Oh my! This is why I got so excited about these two being together. Because sometimes we break away from someone and ultimately we're hoping we'll be better. But I never get a direct confirmation about this, especially when it talks about all of these things. Like I said, this isn't who you are. This is how they made you feel you were. In the Sun card is not only happiness, positivity, your happy ending, your sunshiny ending, but the Sun card is about being exactly who you feel you are. Being totally comfortable, totally free, connecting to yourself. I cannot express enough how beautiful it is, because it's easy to say, oh yeah, you'll be happy. No. Imagine being totally confident and connected in who you are and happy with it. That is a beautiful and very deep level of inner happiness to experience. And I'm really happy to say that that is your outcome. There is an ultimate happy outcome for you. You do learn the lesson. You do realize who you really are. And you can at least know that it did mean something to both them and yourself, and I guess you could just say as a couple as a whole. So ultimately, really good news coming your way. Get ready to kind of feel like your best version of yourself. I hope you enjoyed this reading as much as I did. Please consider to like, comment, and subscribe. It helps out like you would not believe. But either way, have a beautiful day. I will see you in the next one. Bye!